Hey everyone, MLive's Brendan Quinn here alongside Michigan football beat writer Nick Baumgartner following Jim Harbaugh's Monday press conference following the Wolverines' loss to Utah last week and a little bit of a look ahead at this upcoming weekend's game against Oregon State. The thing that jumped out to me this week, Nick, was after dating back to last December 30th when Jim Harbaugh was hired, all the media availability since then have kind of been vague, a little strange, everyone kind of feeling each other out a little bit. Today, now that there's actual football to talk about, an actual game, one of the things that really jumped out was he's very black and white in who performed, who did not, who is accountable, and there is no kind of just team-wide pat on the head, everyone tried their hardest, happy-go-lucky vibe anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's important to note that he is still sort of highlighting the positives when he can, but at the same time, he's not really hiding from if somebody made an error or somebody made a mistake, and he lets them hang out there for that, which is how this should be done. Okay, yeah. That's how it should have been done a year ago. That's how it should have always been done, because that may seem like a little thing, and it may seem stupid to some people, but at the end of the day, people have to be held accountable. If they're not held accountable in this setting, you wonder, are they ever held accountable at all? Because that's what we would wonder with Brady a lot last year, would be certain stuff would be obvious, and they'd be like, well, I don't know if that's the case. It's like, okay, come on, that's ridiculous. I mean, he's very honest with his take about Jake Rudock. He says some throws that he doesn't need to make, some throws that he made mistakes on, but at the same time, he comes back and says he also kept the offense moving, was more consistent, and was the most consistent quarterback in camp. And I think that's notable too, to say, because it's notable on many levels. Number one, it's notable to say that he made some mistakes, yes, but he's the best quarterback on this football team. And no one would know that more than Jim Harbaugh. So all the people that ask me, why isn't Shane Morris getting a chance? Because Jake Rudock has been better than Shane Morris. That's what you should take from that. Not that Shane Morris is getting screwed, that Shane Morris is not playing at the level Jake Rudock is. And that's what they have to deal with right now, and they have to find a way to get around it.
Three guys he pointed out specifically for the highlights were Harbaugh, obviously had a very nice game, Jake Butt, clearly, and Graham Glasgow on the offensive line.
Yeah, and I think Graham probably gets it in a lot of ways because the pass protection was so good. And a lot of that's on Graham in the middle, making sure everyone's on the same page, which they were. Pass protection was great. But if you looked at the run blocking, it was a total mess. And he mentioned this too. The guards, Cal Kalis and Ben Braden, did not have good games. They were, I looked back at it, I'm not a coach, but I looked back at it and you can see it's pretty obvious those guys struggled. Darbo and Jake Butt were fantastic. I think that's pretty easy to see. And even a guy like Grant Perry, he said, there was one route Grant Perry just made up. Can't have that. But comes back and says, you made two great blocks, and away we go. So a lot of compliment sandwiches going on from Harbaugh, but at least it's an honest and telling take.
And kind of one of the news nuggets, if you will, in terms of what people care about these things, but actually speaks to all of this, I think. And Jim Harbaugh confirmed today he's bringing back the helmets.
Oh yeah,
that's a thing. But
no more mystery. They're back.
Talking to Darbo about it though, the first thing he said is, this is just another instance of it's all competition. It's all competition with Harbaugh, and this is used as a thing that he wants guys to be jealous of other guys who have more paraphernalia on the helmet.
And it was the same thing. Jake Butt said I had 8 and Darbo had 9, which was a problem. And then Jordan Lewis said that the defensive backs or anyone on defense gets like a T-shirt or prize of some sort if they create a turnover. And I think he said something about James Ross has a fleece. People are jealous of. So again, little things that are always used to separate players from non-players. Guys who did something and guys who didn't. And there's no gray area. It's black and white. And I think that's how it's always been with Harbaugh. That's how it's been here. I mean, I've heard from former players in the past that they would put weight room statistics on the wall. Every little thing has been measured and broken down, and I think that if you do that properly, it can be a benefit to you.
All right. Well, that's it for today from Chrysler Center, and Nick and I will be back later this week with this week's episode of the Wolverine Beat. But until then, thanks for watching, as always.